Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, O Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopi Janavallabha, Jaya Girivardhari, Jaya Girivardhari, Jaya Gopi Janavallabha, Jaya Girivardhari, Jaya Girivardhari, Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana, Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana, Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana, Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, O Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, O Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Nitai, Jaya Bol, Jaya Nitai, Jaya Bol. Jaya Nitai, Jaya Bol, Jaya Nitai, Jaya Bol. Jaya Radha, Madhuna Mohan Radha, Madhuna Mohan Radhe. Radha, Madan Mohan Radha, Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Oh Radhe, 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 Radhe. Jai Shri Shri Guru Garangagan Habika Grit Hari Radha Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Nityananda Rai Ki Jai, Sachinandana Gaura Hari Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Prabhishta Oma Stotara Sarashi Shimad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Prabhishta Oma Stotara Sarashi Shimad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Prabhishta Oma Stotara Sarashi Shimad Shila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Jagat Guru Nitya Lila Prabhishta Oma Stotara Sarashi Shimad Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Paramahamsa Mahabhagavat Shila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Saptam Goswami Shila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Arupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Gauda Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Megina Timirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jena Tasmaya Shri Guruve Namaha. Guruve Gauda Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarabhaktaya Namo Namaha. Yam Prabhajantamana Pretyam Apeti Krityam Dvaipayano Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putre Titam Mayatayo Tarabo Binidustam Sarvabhutam Munimanatoshmi Anapita Chirim Chirat Kurunavartino Kalo Samarapaitam Unnata Ujjvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam Hari Purata Sundaratu Dikatamba Sadipita Sudahradare Kandare Spuratu Vasachinandanaha Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Shiptascha Karmadi Tarangamadye Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Papana Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Bhajami Radham Aravinda Netram Smarami Radham Marurasmitasyam Vadami Radham Karuna Paratram Tato Mamanasti Katyana Kapi Tavai Basmi Najivami Tvaivina Iti Vignaya Radhe Tvam Nayamam Charanantikam. I'm first of all offering millions and millions of Dandavat pranams unto the lotus feet of my beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Astotarasarishimat Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And the same again, millions and millions of times unto the lotus feet of our beloved Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Astotarasarishimat Shila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada. And to our most beloved Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namane Gauda Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Vrayate, and all our illustrious Rupanuga Guru Vargya, and all the assembled Vaishnava and Vaishnavi devotees of the Lord, I offer my humble obeisances to all of you. So today, Ekadashi, most auspicious day, it's described that Mahaprabhu even um, managed to make his mother, who had traditionally not followed Ekadashi, chant Ekadashi on this day, and was expressing the magnitude of honoring Ekadashi. Ekadashi is directly Krishna, Madhavi Titi. It's directly Krishna. So if we are honoring a fast and we're 100% focusing on pleasing Krishna with the austerity of our fast, then everything will be successful. If we're focusing on anything else, any ulterior motive, then it's not going to have the same potency. So it's so important to fast on this day from the grains is very important. But we see that even stones and trees, they fast. So fasting is not the principle. The principle is running very fast to Krishna. This is actually the principle we've said many times, to engage more focused on our sadhan bhajan and to eliminate those more material type of activities that we usually do. So we get an opportunity once a fortnight, 11 days after the new moon and 11 days after the full moon. So both these days, and it's exceptionally good for the health also to fast, um, give the stomach a rest. So many benefits are there. All the acharyas fasted on Ekadashi, so very important to appreciate this day for its speciality. So now we come to our Falshruti and last four verses.
Jaiva Dharma pate se Shuddha Bhakti hoy. Jaiva Dharma na padile kave bhakti noy. One who reads Jaiva Dharma with faithful deliberation will surely attain Shuddha Bhakti. But one who does not read Jaiva Dharma can never attain Bhakti.
That sounds like a very um, uh, strong statement. That if you don't read, but Jaiva Dharma is the embodiment of all the principles taught by Sachinandan Gaurahari. So the mood is that if you're not ready to embrace the golden avatar of this age, who is benedicting us so munificently, then how possibly can you attain Shuddha Bhakti? That's what it's referencing. This knowledge of Mahaprabhu's pathway as enunciated by Rupa Goswami, as distributed by all the different uh, personalities in our Guru Vargya. If we choose to ignore that and not absorb ourselves in those truths, how is it going to be conceivable for us to achieve Shuddha Bhakti? It won't be. Rupanuga Abhiman Pate
Druda
Drida
hoy.
Hoy Jaiva
Jaiva
Dharma
Dharma
Vimuka
Vimukha
Ke
ke Dharma
Dharma
hi
Hine
na
Koi.
koi. Faithfully reading Jaiva Dharma will surely strengthen one's Abhiman as a Rupanuga.
This is because it's Rupa Goswami's, he's taken the teachings from Mahaprabhu. He's that personality who's representing entirely Srimati Radhika, the most exalted, the chief of all her maidservants is Sri Rupa Goswami. And he has manifested, she has manifested in this world to give us this. So if we identify ourselves as being Rupanugas, follower of Rupa Goswami, all success will prevail for us, 100%.
One who is averse to reading Jaiva Dharma is certainly devoid of religious principles.
Yes, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, very strong, is like Vrindavan Das Thakur. Many of the acharyas, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, they're very forthright because they have realized these truths. So therefore they are very, very boldly establishing this. This is not to be debated. This is the entire truth that they are giving. Yava jivane
जीवन के
jai pade
पढ़े जैव
jaiva
धर्म
dharma
भक्ति
bhaktiman
माने
se
से
jana
जन वृत
vrita
ज्ञान
jnana
कर्म.
karma.
One who faithfully reads Jaiva Dharma throughout his entire life will be endowed with bhakti and will surely realize the futility of jnana and karma.
Once bhakti arises, then the futility of gyan and karma will be perceived by that sadhak. Gyan that path which is not focused on Krishna, not Tat Padartha Gyan, and neither Tvam Padartha Gyan. These two gyans are acceptable. But if it's anything other than that, if it's focusing on Gyan for the realization of mukti or liberation, moksha, etc., then it's completely futile, because where is the destination you will achieve? You will just achieve Nirvishesh Brahm. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is repeatedly saying it again and again. And karma, this path of fruitive activities, this is all the materialist actually is aware of. But this spiritual sacred text is not focusing on that success of the material body. It's saying distinctly that this transcendence is beyond any material conception we can consider.
कृष्णेर अमल सेवा लवि से नर सेवा सुख मग्न रहे सदा कृष्ण पर. Such a man, being fully devoted to Sri Sri Radha Krishna Yugal Kishore and having attained their Amal Prem Seva, remains forever merged in the bliss of such immaculate loving service.
Nothing else exists for the soul. Jivara Sarupoi Krishnara Nityadas. We are an eternal servant of the Lord. And when we manifest that mood in all of our activities, when we see that there is nothing in existence that is separate from Krishna, nothing, absolutely nothing, and we start to understand the reality of my relationship with that Supreme Person, we start to realize that by the chanting of the holy name and Mahaprabhu's mercy and the mercy of the Dham, the mercy of the Vaishnavas, the mercy of Guru, we will start to understand these truths and have not just understanding, but realization of them. And then our devotional service will be like on a rocket. And then the ecstasy and bliss that we will experience will be unprecedented, will be so nectar that we cannot even consider again that path of material focus. So this is the nature, this is Krishna's arrangement to bestow. Krishna wants to bestow this mercy on the jiva. He comes himself so many different times in different forms. Even at this time, he wants to bestow the highest mercy, this Swabhakti Shriyam from Mahaprabhu, Rag Mag Bhakti Loke, Karite Prajan. He wants to bestow this Raganuga Bhakti. But who is actually anxious for it is unfortunate. So those devotees who are getting some taste for this should, as much as their strength allows, try to propagate these truths in such a way that is not going to disturb the general people, but at the same time is going to get the particular principle across. We're not going to compromise with these teachings. If these teachings are compromised in any way, they're going to lose their potency, their efficacy. So they cannot be compromised. Okay, so now we come to this amazing chapter of Prayojan Tattva and what is Bhav Bhakti. And remarkably, this is like, we call it serendipity. Today's Ekadashi, like you were saying yesterday, and we are starting this chapter, and it's Ekadashi also on this chapter. So everything surely is completely auspicious for us at this particular point in time and history. We should appreciate like that. We should, what did Bhaktivinoda Thakur say? Forget the past that sleeps, ne'er the future dream at all, but be with times that are with thee, that means the present moment, and progress you shall call. So now we should all move into the powerful present, and we should resonate with the moods of this chapter that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going to present. He presented this Bhav Bhakti on the Ekadashi day. Why? It wasn't just bringing it out of the hat for some stranger, because Ekadashi day is such a sacred day. It's such a special day. Madhava Tithi. It's the Tithi of Krishna. It's non-different to Krishna. So on this day, we begin this most exceptional appreciation, because it will be nothing less than appreciation. We're not going to be considering, oh yes, I'm in a state of bhav. We'll discuss as we go through. Okay. The commencement of Prayojan Tattva, chapter 22.
Chapter 22, Prameya, the commencement of Prayojana Tattva. It was Ekadashi, and the Vaishnavas were performing Kirtan on the large raised platforms beneath the Bakula tree in Shiva's Angan. Some were singing heavily,
Sighing.
when some were sighing heavily, saying, Ha Gauranga, Ha Nityananda. None of them could understand in what kind of bhav they were revered.
Their revered elderly Babaji was absorbed.
What kind of bhav their revered elderly Babaji was absorbed.
Mm.
Before their eyes, he became stunned. Then, after some time, he burst into tears, crying, Woe is me, alas! Where is my Roop? Where is my Sanatan? Where is my Das Goswami? Where is my Krishnadas Kaviraj, the dearmost brother of my heart? Where have they gone, abandoning me all alone? Fie on me that I remain alive, simply tolerating the pain of their separation. I am an undone,
I am undone.
I am undone by their separation. Even the remembrance of Radha Kund is troublesome to me.
All of these are symptoms of lobha. These are all symptoms of alasamai, of greed. Ha, where is Gauranga? Ha, where is Rupa Goswami? Where is the Lord of my life? He's calling out in great lamentation. He's not feeling that he has the um, union with Mahaprabhu. This is the mood of separation. In the mood of separation, to be calling out urgently like this is described as utkanta, great desperation and longing. This is the mood. These are called bhavs that are arising genuinely in Raghunath Das's heart. So these are never to be imitated. It's going to explain. So these moods are being expressed by Raghunath Das.
My life force
Writhes,
writhes in agony. Only the vision of Rupa Sanatana will save my forlorn life. I have not given up my life, even though separated from them.
so that mood of absolute dejection, because I can't have darshan of Radha and Krishna. I can't have darshan of Rupa and Sanatan. Without Rupa and do we have anything like that? Any greed like that? Genuinely? Do we have a mood? How can I live without the embrace of Sanatan and Rupa? Without hearing their words, without contemplating their writings? These Vaishnavas are always present. He reasons ill who tells that Vaishnavas leave when thou art living still in sound. These personalities are always in the atmosphere. They're waiting to hear the heartfelt cry of the sadhak in desperate lamentation. Or when will you appear? When will you come before me? When can I serve you? This is the mood of the advanced, mature sadhak devotee.
I am simply condemned in every way. Speaking in
Yeah,
this,
I'm simply condemned. He's feeling very, very fallen, Din Hin, completely fallen. He's not qualified. He's feeling like that. But actually, it's the highest qualification. If a child really, really cries, the mother will come. So here the sadhak is really expressing his heartfelt grief for not being in the company of Rupa and Sanatan, Mahaprabhu, etc. So then the result we'll see.
he began to roll in the dust of the courtyard. All the Vaishnavas there said, Babaji, be patient. Roop and Raghunath are in your heart. Look here. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu are dancing before you. Oh, oh, where? Babaji suddenly leapt to his feet and saw before him Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advaita Prabhu, Sri Gadadhar, Srivas, and all the devotees performing kirtan. They were all dancing, completely absorbed in Mahabhav. Seeing this scene, he said, Blessed is Mayapur. Only Sri Mayapur can remove the grief of separation from Vraj. When the scene disappeared, he went on dancing for a long time. Later, becoming peaceful, he sat in his cottage.
So because he was lamenting so piteously, then a spurti manifested of all the Panchatattva and the different parikas, Shrivas, the Panchatattva, and they were all absorbed in a mood of Mahabhav. So we can appreciate that Babaji also was absorbed in that same ecstatic mood. And when the dancing had concluded, still that mood was with him in his heart. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he writes many times about these mystical visions of the personalities in his different books. Navadvip Bhav Taranga, in particular. What are his mystical visions of the places of the Holy Dharma? These visions, they exist for the sadhak to appreciate when he's significantly desperate and hungry to receive this type of darshan. If we're submissive and that's all we want, and our faith, we've crossed the other side from the material world into the spiritual world in our consciousnesses. We know that there is nothing of success to be gained from this material, any kind of material activity. It cannot lead to the bliss of spiritual connection. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur often is expressing this, trying to encourage the sadhaks. Yes, it's just a whisper away from our practice. If you're chanting Hare Krishna, these spurtis, these visions are just a whisper away, because they will come to increase our faith. When we hear this should increase the faith of the sadhak. And if the sadhak even begins to think, oh, when will such a spurti happen for me? Good. Let him think like that. Let him chant more deeply. Let him practice more significantly. Let him pray for that revelation. Or when will you reveal your nature to me? Let him think like that.
Just then, Vijay Kumar and Rajanath came and offered obeisances at his lotus feet. Seeing them, Babaji Maharaj was very pleased and said, "How is your bhajan?"
This is the way always my Gurudev used to explain to welcome somebody. We want to remain in the consciousness of performing our bhajan as much as we are capable throughout the 24 hours of the day. So we don't want to just approach another devotee. Oh, how are you doing? How is everything in life? How is your bhajan? This is significant. If you exchange reflections on this point, it's very enlivening for both parties. Generally, practically always, the devotee will say, oh, my bhajan is useless. I'm simply sleeping and eating, wasting my time, because he's feeling a mood of separation from pure bhajan. He understands what is real bhajan. All the acharyas would declare, Mahaprabhu himself would declare, I have no love for Krishna. Now, Prem Ganda, he would say, I have not even a smell of attraction and effect. I'm just doing this as a display. Mahaprabhu himself would say like this. What to speak of all the other acharyas? When you read Narottam Das, he's saying the same kind of mood. The sadhak never considers that he has sufficient bhajan to actually be satisfied with it. That's not the nature of bhajan. The nature of bhajan is there's always a shortfall. We're always moving forward somewhere. We don't perceive actually how we're really doing ourselves, but we get some indication about the auspiciousness of the circumstances in our lives. If our lives are generally auspicious in the sense that there's no great disruptions around us, basically, and we're having sufficient time and space to practice the precepts that we wish to practice, then we should consider that a gift of the Lord and confirmation that, yes, my bhajan is kind of on track. We can think like that because it's saying, what's that? Kleshagni Shubhada. It's saying auspicious. Kleshagni, when the anarthas and sufferings become eliminated, incinerated, then Shubhada. Shubhada means auspicious. This is one stage, the first stage prior to Bhav Bhakti. So that auspiciousness we can appreciate, we can sense it in the atmosphere when we're not getting excessively disturbed about anything. There's no need to be disturbed about it. Krishna is the supreme controller. He's carrying out everything. So when I'm fully submissive to his will and appreciative of that, then I will be completely peaceful at heart.
Both of them humbly folded their hands and said, "We need your mercy, for it is everything to us. It is only because of so much sukriti, pious activities accumulated over many births, that we could so easily attain the shelter of your lotus feet.
This is so true. This is not just loose words. This is so true. They're revealing what they appreciate to be the truth. The complete truth is that they have met Raghunath Das Babaji by their extreme good fortune due to their pious credits, their sukriti. So this is their appreciation.
Since it is Ekadashi today, with your permission, we will observe Nirjala fasting. We have come to take your darshan.
Nijala fasting means abstinence from cooking, from all food, taking water, or not even taking water. So the idea of this is not to think in your mind, oh, I'm like a yogi. Look, I'm performing so austere. Unless we're gifting that austerity, unless that austerity is focused on pleasing Krishna, then it's not really pure Shuddha Ekadasi. It's mixed. It's mixed with some ulterior motive. So if we can purify the consciousness, and the consciousness becomes very easily purified by the fasting itself, because very often all the different foodstuffs, etc., they have an effect on the consciousness and they cloud the consciousness. But when we abstain fully, then the consciousness becomes very clear and focused. We should perceive like this.
Babaji, you, you too are blessed. Very soon you will attain the state of Bhav. Vijay, Prabhu, what is the state of Bhav? So far, you have not told us anything about this. Kindly bestow your mercy upon us by speaking on this subject. Babaji, up to this point, I have only given you instructions concerning the practice of sadhan.
Yes, in the previous chapter, which was Raganuga Sadhan Bhakti, that was the title of the chapter. It's to give us an indication of where is the path of Rag focused. It's focused on Vrindavan Dham. We discuss many aspects of this, how following the residents of Vrindavan. What's that? Tishtem Braje Tanu Ragi Janu Gami, Rupa Goswami, he's saying. To focus on a particular resident of Vrindavan and be following. That is a Rupanuga. So following, we are Rupanugas, following the path of Raga Anuga. So we went into detail. That was indicating the sadhan to attain that wonderful state of Rag Bhakti. That was sadhan, like he's explaining here. This was sadhan Bhakti. Now Bhav Bhakti is going to come to a different level.
By continually practicing sadhan, one gradually comes to the perfected stage. Bhav is the preliminary condition which heralds the stage of perfection, Siddhavastha. Shri Dashamula gives the following description of this perfected state. स्वरूपास्थाने मधुररसभावोद्यहयः इह व्रजे राधाकृष्ण स्वजन जनभावं हृदि वहन् परानन्दे प्रीतिं जगद अतुल संपत सुखम् अहो विलासा विलासाख्ये तत्त्वे परं परिचार्यं स लभेत्. In the mature stage of sadhan bhakti, when the jiva becomes situated in his swarup, then by the influence of the ladini potency, the state of bhav in madhur ras arises within him. In other words, the mood to follow in the footsteps of the dearmost associates of Shri Radha Krishna in Vraj arises in his heart. Gradually, he obtains happiness and prosperity that is unsurpassed in this world, in the form of the supreme service of Paramananda Tattva, which is known as Vilas. There is no greater gain than this for the Jiva.
These are the instructions of Mahaprabhu. So it's not talking about Vaikuntha Bhav. It's not talking about Dwarkadish Bhav. It's talking about Madhurya Bhav. It's talking about Rag Mag in Madhurya Dham, which is Vrindavan Dham, in focus of Radha and Krishna's seva. This is the focus. It's not focusing on Vaikuntha. This Vaikuntha Bhav is another consideration. Babaji is going to be focused on what is Braja Bhav, what is Braja Prem. Vaikuntha Prem is there. That's another consideration. Dwarkadish Prem, Aishwarya Bhav is there. Ayodhya Bhav is there. These are all different considerations, and they have different degrees of ecstatic experience. But here we are specifically focusing on Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. So don't think that he's omitted something. He's already indicated something to that degree in the previous chapter when we discussed all the different levels from Siddhaloka, the Gyanis, etc., and moving towards Vaikuntha. So we went through that ladder, that path. But here, now the focus has come fine-tuned simply to Brajabhav.
This shloka describes Prayojana Tattva, the stage of Prem. The first stage of Prem is Bhav. प्रभु कह को जीव कथम इदम अचित विश्वासम इति वा विचार्यतान अर्थान हरिभजान कृत शास्त्र चतुरः अभेदाशम धर्माम सकलम अपराधम परिहारान हरेर्नामानंदम पिबति हरिदासो हरिजनೈ. Dashamula. Who is Krishna? Who am I? The Jiva. What is this temporary material Achit world?
What does that mean? That means what is Sambandha Gyan? This means what is Sambandha Gyan? What is my relationship with Krishna? What is my relationship with the material energy? What is my relationship with other jivas? Relationship. Being with Krishna means relationship. If it's impersonal, it's Nirvishesh Brahm. So it starts in this world also, developing our relationships with the Vaishnavas, with Guru, with the different sadhus, etc. If we can't attain that, how we expect to attain relationship with Krishna?
And the eternal spiritual Chit world. He who is exclusively devoted to do the bhajan of Sri Hari and has made an intelligent analysis of the Vaishnava Shastras under the guidance of Shuddha Bhaktas, who has abandoned all offences and attachment to Dharma and Adharma, and who can consider and dispose of all questions, that servant of Sri Hari drinks the sublime beverage of Sri Harinam in the company of other Harijans.
So sadhu sangha, this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur is constantly referencing this without having the association of those of a similar mood, swajatiya, and being affectionate to you, snigdha, and feeling that they are senior, ashraya, without having this type of regular association. So we should never be lamenting, oh, where are those devotees? They're not close to me. But actually, in this age of technology, we can catch up many connections just through the internet. That can happen to a degree. It's not the same as actually being in the same company as the uh, different devotees, but still we can do. But we should also realize what I said previously, that all the great devotees are eternally in the atmosphere around us. Anytime you want to invoke the presence of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, you just have to open one of his books and start reading his commentary and purports. And immediately the presence of that personality will manifest in your heart. The same with my Gurudev. You simply have to open those books that they have spoken themselves, or listen to their recording, listen to their sound vibration of their voices. So it's all so accessible. We should not think in the form of having so many excuses. We should have no excuses for this, because that's a weakness, always thinking that I have to have excuses for my absolute foolishness in not following strongly this path. No, no excuses. It's all there. Krishna has arranged it all there for his sincere sadhak.
This Dashamula is a compilation of unparalleled beauty in which all of Sriman Mahaprabhu's instructions have been expressed concisely.
Absolutely, absolutely. This Dasamula is a brilliant jewel that Bhaktivinoda Thakur specifically manifested for the jivas of this age, putting in a nutshell all of Mahaprabhu's teachings. Who is Krishna? What is Sarva Shaktiman? What is Krishna Ras? What is Bibinamsa Tattva? What is Jiva Tattva? What is Mukta Jiva Tattva? What is this Achintya Beda Abeda Tattva? And then what is Sadhan Bhakti? And then what is Priti? These are the 9 pramayas that we should appreciate, that we have gone through already. And now we're coming to this stage, this last one, stage of Priti, which is affection and love. And these are all supported by the Amnaya, the first Praman, all the evidence from Shastra. We only follow Shastra. Shastra is that place that the rishis and sadhus previously, traditionally, have gifted to the world to bring us forward to the lotus feet of the Lord. If we disregard Shastra in any form, then we're going to make everything more difficult for ourselves. If we adhere closely to Shastra, our life will become very, very simple, and there won't be any difficulty at all.
Vijay, I would like to hear the exalted position of Dashamula in brief. Babaji. Then listen. Samas, Samasvya Dashamulam vai hitva vidyam ayam janah bhavapushtim tata tushtim labate sadhu sangatah. Dashamula Mahatmya. When the Jiva
Bhaktivinoda
studies
Thakur's even written that
Mahatmya,
Mahatmya. That's Mula. I mean, he hasn't missed out anything. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is such a accomplished personality. There's not a single detail that he's left out anywhere amongst his entire presentations. He had his seva to Sri Radhika, and he wanted to perform that with the greatest of expertise by gifting us who is Mahaprabhu in this age. Rupa Goswami was that first personality, and now Kamala Manjari is that second personality, who's completely collecting all of the truths. And it's like the current is coming, but then it needs a boost. It needs the transformer. The current is coming, but then it needs a transformer every now and again, just to put it completely on track. Because when Bhaktivinoda Thakur, at the time of his birth, there were so many Apasiddhantas had actually manifested. 13 or 14 are mentioned. Aul, Baul, Sakibet, Goranagari, so many of them. And that means that they were deviations from the teachings of Rupa Goswami. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur has set the track. And now with this Jaiva Dharma, he's setting the final jewel in the crown of what is Bhava Bhakti. And then he will discuss Prema Bhakti in the last 14 chapters. But this has to be just appreciated. I keep saying this word, appreciated. We can't understand this phenomenon. If we try to use our logic and reasoning, it's just going to evaporate immediately. It's going to become dry. It's not in that realm, because that realm is a mental realm. Logic, reason, intelligence, that's all in the mental faculty. This is about transcendence. This is beyond that realm. So we shouldn't try to crack our brains and use that faculty of intelligence or logic and reason. Don't try to understand these things. Try to appreciate deeply, at the same time, my absolute insignificance and foolishness. If I have that mood, then I can make steady progress. Always that mood.
when the Jiva studies and carefully follows this Dashamula, he throws far away material disease in the form of ignorance. Thereafter, through the association of sadhus, he obtains the nourishment of bhav and becomes fully satisfied.
Just for a moment, consider, before we began these readings of Jaiva Dharma, what was your degree of ignorance compared to what is your degree of knowledge now? From reaching the 22nd chapter, discussing so many different topics, surely if we take an honest estimation of how much we have progressed as far as purifying our previous ignorances, surely all of us will feel, yes, we have made some progress to purify that covering of ignorance. We've begun to accept these truths of Mahaprabhu. So we should see for ourselves that it's like a flower. We never see actually the flower opening. That's beyond our vision. But we should appreciate the flower of the mind responds to pure knowledge. And all of these teachings is absolutely pure knowledge of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So at some point we should acknowledge, yes, my appreciation or my ignorance has been purified to date. Up to this point in time, my ignorance has been purified. So I can appreciate like that. And then what will be the result? It's saying becomes fully satisfied. Ye atma suprasidati. Yes, you become fully satisfied. This, like that other verse in the 9th chapter, Rajavidya, was it? Rajavidya, Rajaguyam,
Rajaguhyam
Pavitram,
Pavitram Idam
Idamuttamam,
Uttamam
Pratyakshavadamam Dharamam,
Susukam
Susukam,
iti
Avya Kartaham. That this is most
enjoyable.
joyful to be performed. This
Susukam.
Susukam, yes. Sukam, yes. Very enjoyable.
And it is easy.
And it is easy, yes. It's not a difficulty. It's wonderful to actually unfold these truths. It's not an imposition for the mind. We've said this many times.
Vijay, Prabhu, may all of us wear the necklace of this incomparable Dashamula about our necks. We will recite this Dashamula every day and offer respectful obeisances unto Sriman Mahaprabhu. Now kindly elaborate on the subject of Bhav Tattva. Babaji, the characteristic feature of Bhav is that it is situated in unalloyed goodness, Shuddha Sattva Vishesha Rupa Tattva. It can be compared to a tiny ray of the Prem sun.
What do we say? Shuddha Sattva, Visheshatma, Prem Suryavam Samyabak, Ruchivits Chitam Rishnu, Shud Ashu Bhav Uchyate. This Bhav is like a ray of the brilliant sun of Prem. This is what it's going to elucidate. This Bhav is like the ray of Prem. It's the beginning of Prem. Prem is such a high state that in this present condition we could not begin to tolerate it. Our bodies would explode with the heat of that Prem. And yet we've been told by our acharyas that we can attain the stage of Bhav Bhakti. This condition we can achieve, Bhav Bhakti. So we should take great inspiration from this and hear this chapter very carefully.
The constitutional characteristic Swarupa Lakshana of Bhav is that it is situated in unalloyed goodness, Vishuddha Sattva.
Unalloyed goodness is beyond this material world. We have this Sattva gun, Rajagun, and Tamagun. These are all material modes. First, one must come to the mode of Sattva gun in his lifestyle generally and be following properly the Vidhi Marg of the Sattvic path carefully. And when that Sattvic path is easy and natural for us to follow, then at some point through our practice, this Vishuddha Sattva, which transcends this material mode, this Vishuddha Sattva will carry us into transcendence.
Bhav is also known by the name Rati and is sometimes called a sprout of Prem Ankura.
Prem Ankur. Actually, it's described, just for our interest's sake, that Madhavendra Puri is the embodiment of that Prem Ankur. He's the sprout of the seed of Bhav, or the seed of Prem. He's the original sprout of that. And then his disciple Ishwara Puri, and then Ishwara Puri is the guru of Mahaprabhu. So Krishna wants to plot the progress in that way. So from Madhavendra Puri to Ishwara Puri to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's coming in a proper line. Everything is paka. Everything is coming in a very clear, correct manner. There's nothing hazy or scattered about anything. It's all the design of the Supreme Lord. So this Prem Ankor, we can appreciate and remember, is the embodiment of Madhavendra Puripad. This is how he's been described, this sprout. And Ishwara Puri is like the sapling, is like the young tree. And Mahaprabhu is the full embodiment of this Bhav Bhakti or Prema Bhakti.
Bhav and Rati are synonyms, Manoj. Are they synonyms?
Yes. Bhav and Rati are synonymous, totally, fully.
The propensity for divine knowledge, samvit vritti, is an aspect of the all enlightening internal potency, Swarup Shakti.
Now that's important. Is an aspect of the all enlightening internal potency, Swarup Shakti.
Hmm.
Nothing can manifest without the mercy of Sri Radha. This Swarup Shakti, the whole creation is manifested by that Swarup Shakti. We are looking to connect with that Swarup Shakti Sri Radha, and she will connect us with that Shaktiman, that personality of from where that Shakti is ultimately manifesting. But that Shakti is in her own light. She is the embodiment, Yogamaya, Swarup Shakti. So it's saying here very clearly that it is an aspect of the all enlightening internal potency, Swarup Shakti, because it's described that when this knowledge comes in the Sangvit, Sangvit means the intelligence, the cognitive aspect of the
Chit,
consciousness, the Sangvit Shakti or the Chit
Chit Shakti.
Shakti. And then it comes into the heart, that knowledge Shakti, that Sangvit Shakti. And then it mixes in the heart with the Hladini Shakti. And then realization will manifest. Without the Chit, without the Hladini Shakti, just alone, just the Sangvit Shakti, my Gurudev describes is like trying to make any type of, you're trying to make nimbu pani, and you have the lemons and you have the water and the sugar, but you don't mix them together. They've got to be mixed to form the ras. They have to be mixed in the right proportion. So this sangvit vritti will manifest in the consciousness, come to the heart, and then it will mix with the hladini shakti, and then pure realization of this vishuddha sattva experience of bhav will manifest for the jiva.
The propensity for divine knowledge,
No, you,
samvit vritti, is
yes.
an aspect of the all enlightening internal potency, Swarup Shakti, and is the state of unalloyed goodness, Shuddha Sattva,
Hmm.
having no connection with Maya.
Yes. It's not, this is why we've said repeatedly, this is an internal path. It's not, don't try ever to externalize your appreciations or realizations. They're not for the external world. Keep your prayers and your heartfelt sentiments in your heart and cultivate them. They're not necessary to bring them out in the open. We've said many times that my Gurudev describes, like if you're in a room and you're having beautiful fragrance of camphor, but then you open the windows, it'll all just evaporate. So if you try to share these deep moods, then it's going to evaporate any genuine flavor of bhav that might have arisen. So this is a very confidential path. At the same time, we associate with the devotees and we can express our appreciations through kirtan, through like that, when we're singing bhajans together, etc. We can express, we can have that, those feelings in our hearts, but not for our own gratification, but for the satisfaction of Krishna and the Vaishnavas.
Maharaj, I've heard that in the immature stage, a sadhak, he cannot contain these bhavs, certain, uh, and it is seen by others. At that time, what did?
He needs to be guided by Sadguru. He needs to be guided by any master. It's like if you suddenly release these barbs prematurely, if they begin to, but they cannot even begin unless they're being guided by
No, it is
Sadguru.
not bhav. It might be abhas or
Well, then
something.
a bus, yes. So then a bus, then it's another consideration altogether. Then if someone is suddenly, you're having a kirtan, I've seen this in Radhakund, all of a sudden someone will begin to shower tears out of their eyes. And it's very uncomfortable to see like that, actually. And rolling on the ground, yes. And it's very, because I was with my Gurudev for so many times, I never saw him ever, not even once. I saw him suddenly become stunned and not be able to speak on quite a few occasions, just like Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada. But they try to
Control.
control that bhav. So if there's no sense of sense control, then it's probably more like in the Sahajya track. It's probably not in the Shuddha track. It's like we were saying just before in a class today that Lahari Maharshai, he's saying in the 4th chapter, because he's talking about Bhav. And in that chapter, he's saying that previously he would feel that he wanted to invoke a wonderful emotion while he was singing with the devotees. But that emotion wasn't focused on devotional service or seva. And because he didn't have clear Sambandha Gyan, this was the reason. And Vaishnav Das begins to educate him. This is actually on page 60 or 61 of Jaiva Dharma. You can see at the bottom of that page. It's a very beautiful paragraph. I just read it because it's very pertinent to what we're talking about here today. Just let me read this. He's saying, um, only if I have heard from some Vaishnavas that one is a real Vaishnava only if he experiences the path of devotion through bhav, emotions. This is on page 60 at the bottom. So there is no need for knowledge. This is what he was thinking in his uneducated place. How much truth is there in this statement? Up until now, I have simply tried to evoke emotions through the singing of Harinam Sankirtan. And I was explaining that many times in the West, in particular, when I was doing preaching programs and I'd come to a group of devotees who weren't really very strict, they would absolutely adore kirtan. And they would chant for hours and hours and hours. But there was no sambandha gyan. They were just enjoying the kirtan for their own sense gratification, their own pleasure. They were actually getting high off the kirtan.
The melody.
The melody or the
Raga,
the congregational chanting, etc. So we can say it's like a start. It's a very, very subtle point. But you have to know when the kirtan is sahajya orientated, when the chanters and singers don't have knowledge of what is sambandha. Sambandha gyan means I know my relationship with Krishna. I know I'm a tiny, insignificant servant of Krishna. And I know the power of the external energy. I'm aware of that also. And I'm aware of that Krishna is residing in every atom and every jiva. So if you're not having that fund of sambandha gyan, and you're just all chanting Hare Krishna together with guitars and things like this is what I've experienced, they can go on for hours and hours and actually believe that they're experiencing a higher state of spiritual bhav or ecstasy. But actually it's not. It's not Shuddha. It's completely mixed. It's mixed with their own desire for sense gratification. They are performing this kirtan because they're getting some intoxicated joy out of it, which is what the kirtan is able to give. It can give that intoxicating joy. But is that mood directed on pleasing Krishna? This is the principle. If it's without a focus, my kirtan, is this pleasing to Krishna? Is this kirtan pleasing? It's pleasing to me. That's why I'm doing it. But is it pleasing to Krishna? Is Krishna saying, I will know intuitively if it's pleasing to Krishna. If it's pleasing to Krishna, it means I have to know about Krishna. It means I have to have knowledge of what is Sambandha Gyan. So in the first 12 chapters of Jaiva Dharma, he extensively goes through so many different examples of explaining to us what is the nature of Sambandha Gyan. In the first 9 cantos of the Bhagavatam, it's the same.
So that joy, that's highest.
Yes.
Is that coming from the soul or is it coming from the mind?
It's coming from the subtle world. It's coming from the subtle body, the mind. Yes, 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 yes. Even the astral plane. It's all subtle. It's not transcendental. But if I'm performing this kirtan and it's under the guidance of a pure bhakta, or at least the teachings of a pure bhakta, then that kirtan will be Shuddha ras. There will be pure ras can be contained there. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he talks about this in the Nam chapters, because he's asked the question, what happens if we're chanting and there's no advanced devotee in the chanting party? And Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying this is simply a material sound vibration. This is not going to penetrate the hearts of the conditioned souls. So we can become purified simply by understanding. Now you've already understood so much of this knowledge. You've heard this knowledge. you know the meaning of Sambandha Gyan. Sambandha Gyan means, what is my relationship with Krishna as a servant? What is my relationship with the material energy? I don't want to be controlled by the material energy by indulging in my own sense enjoyment. And what is the nature of other jivas in this world? So this Sambandha Gyan is paramount to appreciate. Without Sambandha Gyan, and this is what Babaji is going to explain here also, this Sambandha Gyan, without Sambandha, and who is the Acharya? Sanatana Goswami. He's giving us extensively Brihat Bhagavatamrita. He shows how Gop Kumar goes through all the different planetary systems. He has this desire to have this relationship with only Krishna. He doesn't want the relationship with Indra. He doesn't want the relationship with Lord Brahma. He doesn't even want the relationship with the four Kumaras. He doesn't want the relationship in Ayodhya. He doesn't even want the relationship in Dwarka. He only wants the relationship with Brajendrananda and Shyam Sundar. So what pleases him? It's a big point, and it's not easy to explain because sometimes the kirtans are so wonderful and we're feeling great. But what is the nature of that feeling? Is that a transcendental feeling? We have to know how to distinguish. In a immature stage, and we should all appreciate we are all immature. We know when that maturity manifests.
So the pleasure of the soul is only through bhakti yoga.
The pleasure of the soul, what?
Only through bhakti yoga.
Bhakti yoga, yes, only by service.
Else,
No, absolutely. We are Jivera Sarup Hoy Krishna Nityadas. We are eternal servants of Krishna. That's the nature of my soul. When my soul in the kirtan is only wanting to please Krishna, then the eternality of my soul is going to be manifesting. But if there's anything mixed with that, if it's my own intoxicating pleasure from the kirtan ras, and all, even if thousands of people are chanting, it can be a very wonderful sound vibration. But is it Shuddha? If there's even one realized soul amongst the group of 1,000 people chanting, it can be Shuddha, because the sound vibration, it's a very, very subtle point. And we simply have to appreciate the fact that what is pure devotional service, and that can only be understood when we've understood Sambandha Gyan, nothing less than Sambandha Gyan. This is why we've talked so much in the first 12 chapters, only about Sambandha Gyan, again and again and again and again. The relationship, sam, this means with, bandha, connection, with the connection to Krishna, sambandha. This is the etymology of the word. Paramount to appreciate this. I've been in many groups, in England in particular, where they've just, they're convinced that they're actually experiencing a higher spiritual taste. And it's very hard. You can't tell them that, because it'll just create too much confusion. But if we know now in a sober environment what is the reality, then we will be prepared for that. Like there's many people on YouTube, etc. There's all kinds of, one man, what's his name? Krishnadas. He has thousands and thousands of followers. And he sings very sweetly and very nice, and everyone becomes very happy and joyful. And then when he speaks, if you listen to him speak, it's really, you can see immediately he hasn't really got the full fund of what is Sambandha Gyan. You can tell instantly. He's caught up with the euphoria of making people materially happy. There's a great taste in that,
He's got a good voice.
Yes, he's got a good voice, great. But is it aimed at specifically pleasing Krishna? Or is it aimed at his own greatness and his own specialness? He is special. He's a spirit soul. But how much does he know that? How much has he been trained to know that? It's very distinct. So we're going to stop here. But did we finish the paragraph?
Yes, Maharaj.
The essential aspect of the combination is called bhav.
No, we did come till here.
Huh?
When this samvit vritti combines with a propensity for unalloyed bliss, The essential aspect of that combination is called bhav.
Okay, so we'll leave it there. Halfway down, page 506. So one obtains knowledge of an object. Now he's going to go and describe it. This same description is what was given in the first chapter, by the way. So everything is there in the first. So this is second time we're hearing it. So it shouldn't be strange to us, this language. Okay, Bhav Bhakti ki jai, Ekadasi Brat ki jai, Sankirtan Ras ki jai, Shuddha Sankirtan Ras ki jai, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai, Jaiva Dharma ki jai, Anantakoda Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Gauda Premanande Hari Hari Bol, Vanshakalpa Tarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhaveva cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha.